She posted, "Ugh, stuck with boring boyfriend tonight while I was buying her anniversary gift. I saw it, said nothing. Then I returned the $3,000 necklace and booked myself a weekend at the resort she'd been begging to visit." Her call came 6 hours later. I, 32 male, am, or I guess was, a planner. I planned my finances, I planned my vacations, and I had our 4-year anniversary planned to the minute. Fancy dinner at that new, impossible-to-get-into tasting menu place. And the gift, a sapphire pendant. A very specific $3,250 sapphire pendant she'd been sending me subtle links to for a month. I was at the jeweler's 4 p.m. on the dot. The salesperson, a nice older woman, had it laid out on a black velvet tray. It was sparkling. I was actually feeling pretty good about it, proud even. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I figured it was Maya, 29, my girlfriend, probably asking what time I'd be home. I pulled it out while the salesperson was writing up the warranty. It was an Instagram notification, a story from an account I barely remembered she had. Her, Finsta, her close friends circle. She must have added me 2 years ago and completely forgotten. I tapped it. It was a selfie of her, rolling her eyes, already half done with her makeup. The caption, "Anniversary dinner tonight. Ugh, stuck with boring boyfriend. Pray for me. Need a real one to take me to Willow Creek already." My blood didn't boil. It didn't run cold. It just stopped. I read it twice. Stuck with boring boyfriend. Stuck. Boring. While I was holding a $3,000 piece of jewelry I'd saved for, and she was already complaining about the night. A night I'd spent weeks planning, and a jab about Willow Creek, the spa resort she'd been begging me to book. "Sir?" The salesperson was looking at me. "Is everything all right? You've gone a bit pale." My hand was shaking, just slightly. I put the phone back in my pocket. "You know," I said, my voice sounding distant even to me. "I just got some news. I'm so sorry. I need to hold off on this. I can't buy it today." "Oh, of course. Is everything okay?" "No," I said, giving her a weak smile. "But it will be. I'm so sorry to waste your time." I walked out of the store. The mall air felt thick. I sat in my car for 10 full minutes. Didn't rage, didn't cry. I just felt this cold, quiet click inside my head. The sound of a door locking. I pulled out my phone. First, I pulled up the reservation for the tasting menu. Cancelled. Fee, $100, worth it. Second, I pulled up the Willow Creek Spa and Resort website, the one she was always accidentally leaving open on my laptop. I scrolled to the reservations tab. They had a last-minute opening for that exact weekend, Friday to Sunday. The Executive King Suite, with the fireplace and the soaking tub, the one she had circled in a brochure. I clicked Book Now, non-refundable. I put it on my Amex, $2,200. Third, I looked at the time, 4:30 p.m. She'd be at her apartment. We still kept separate places, though she stayed at mine 90% of the time, getting ready. The reservation was for 8 p.m. I drove home. To my apartment. I packed a weekend bag, my nice swim trunks, the good shaving kit, my golf polos, my noise-canceling headphones. At 6 p.m., I was on the highway heading north. The resort was about 2 hours away. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I just drove. I checked in at 8:15 p.m. The lobby was beautiful. All stone and dark wood with a massive fireplace. My phone hadn't made a sound. She must have assumed I was just running late, probably stuck in traffic trying to get her. I went to my suite. It was bigger than my first apartment. I ordered an old-fashioned and a ribeye from room service. At 8:30 p.m. my phone finally rang. Maya. I let it ring. It rang again, immediately. I let it go to voicemail. Then the text started. "Leo? Where are you? The restaurant just called me. They said you canceled the reservation? This isn't funny. I'm all dressed up. Are you outside? Leo. Pick up your phone. What is going on?" I sipped my drink. My steak arrived. "Are you seriously standing me up? On our anniversary?" I cut into the steak, perfect medium rare. I decided to throw her a bone. I took a picture of my drink with the roaring fireplace of the Willow Creek suite in the background. I posted it to my Instagram story. My real one, the one I knew she watched. I geotagged Willow Creek Spa and Resort. The phone rang so fast I almost dropped it. It was 8:52 p.m. This time I answered. "Hello? What the hell, Leo?" The shriek was audible. "What are you doing?" "I'm about to eat a steak," I said calmly. You're at Willow Creek? You went to Willow Creek? Without me?" The entitlement, the sheer audacity of her offense was breathtaking. Yeah, seemed like a nice place. But it's our anniversary. You stood me up. You canceled our dinner to go to the resort I wanted to go to. What is wrong with you? Well, I said, swirling the ice in my glass. I saw your post. You seemed pretty miserable about being stuck with your boring boyfriend. I figured I'd do you a favor and unstuck you. Didn't want to bore you all night. Dead. Silence. The kind of silence where you can hear someone's brain frantically trying to rewind to figure out what they messed up. What? What post? I don't know what you're talking about. Your close friend's story, Maya. The one you posted around 4 p.m. Pray for me? Need a real one? Ring a bell? More silence. Then, the sound of a choked gasp. She knew. She'd been caught. Leo? Baby, that was a joke. It was just a joke for my friends. You're not even supposed to be on that account. So it's my fault for seeing it? No. I mean, you can't be serious. You're ruining our anniversary over a stupid post? You ruined it, Maya. Not me. I was just reacting to the new information I received. You think I'm boring, and you're publicly wishing for another man. I'm just respecting your wishes. I'm coming up there, she shrieked. You're 2 hours away. I'm getting in my car. I wouldn't, I said. The reservation is only for one. They're very strict here, and I'm not adding you to the room. Leo, don't you hang up on me. Enjoy your night, Maya. I know I will. I hung up. I blocked her number. Then I blocked her on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. My phone started ringing again. Alana, her best friend. I declined it. Then Maya's mom. Declined. I turned my phone completely off. I ate my steak. I had a second old-fashioned. I took a dip in the ridiculously oversized tub. I slept better than I have in 4 years. Update 1. It's been a week. The weekend at Willow Creek was clarifying. I got a massage. I played 18 holes of golf. I read a book by the pool. I didn't turn my phone back on until I was driving home Sunday afternoon. The missed calls were comical. 32 from Maya before I blocked her. 18 from Alana. 5 from her mom. 2 from her sister. The texts were a novel of emotional whiplash. From Alana. Leo, you need to answer Maya. She's a wreck. This is cruel. From Alana. Seriously, what is your problem? She's hysterical. You're being a child. From Alana. She said she's sorry. It was a joke. Are you really going to throw away 4 years over this? You're an immature jerk. She deserves better. Spoiler, she's about to get the chance to find it. I got back to my apartment Sunday night. It was empty and quiet. Bliss. I spent Monday getting my ducks in a row. I live in a one-party consent state for recordings. I checked the lease for my apartment. It's solely in my name. She never officially moved in. She just stayed. Her name isn't on a single utility. She still had a key. I figured she'd show up eventually. She did. Monday night. I was in the kitchen making a sandwich. She used her key and burst in. Her eyes were red and puffy. Her makeup was a mess. You're just here? Making a sandwich? She yelled, throwing her purse on the floor. Yeah, I was hungry. You blocked me. You blocked everyone. You disappeared for 3 days after you humiliated me. You humiliated yourself, Maya. I just chose not to participate. It was a joke, she shrieked. That was her new favorite word. A stupid, silly joke for Alana. You're not even supposed to be on that account. You were spying on me. You added me, Maya. Years ago. You forgot, I said, taking a bite of my sandwich. That's not spying. That's you being sloppy. She stared at me. The tears started again, but these were different. They were calculating. But our anniversary, she whimpered. I know you had a gift. The necklace. The sapphire one I sent you the link for. I thought. This was the moment. Oh yeah, I said, nodding. I was at the jeweler's when I saw your post. I was literally holding it in my hand. The salesperson was right there. Her face crumbled. The realization of the actual cost hit her like a truck. This wasn't just about a missed dinner. This was about a $3,250 piece of jewelry she'd coveted. You didn't buy it? She whispered. Nope. I returned it. Well, I never bought it. I used the money for my trip, which was fantastic, by the way. The spa is 10/10. Highly recommend. The tears stopped. Her face went tight with a rage that was almost impressive. You're a monster, she hissed. You did that just to punish me. No, I did it for me. I realized I didn't want to give a $3,000 gift to someone who finds me boring. Seems like a bad investment. I took another bite. The relationship is over, Maya. I want you to get your stuff and go. The entitlement went supernova. Move out? Are you kidding me? I live here. You can't just kick me out. Half the stuff in this apartment is mine. You're not on the lease, Maya. You're a guest, and your stay is over. The law says I have to give you reasonable notice to vacate. How's 30 days? Though honestly, I'd prefer you be gone by this weekend. I'm not going anywhere, she screamed. This is my home. You can't do this. You owe me. You owe me for that trip you took. You owe me for the necklace. You owe me for humiliating me. I don't owe you a thing, I said, finishing my sandwich. You called me boring. You publicly wished for another man. You get nothing. Start packing your things. She let out a sound like a wounded animal, grabbed her purse, and stormed into the guest room, slamming the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. I could hear her instantly on the phone, wailing to Alana about how I was a cold-blooded psycho and I was throwing her on the street. I sighed. I put my plate in the dishwasher. I went into my bedroom, locked the door, put on my headphones, and went to sleep. This was going to be a long week. Update 2, the week was awful. Just a low-grade, simmering awfulness. Maya refused to leave. She stayed holed up in the guest room, and when she did come out, she'd slam every cabinet, accidentally knock over my things, and mutter "bastard" under her breath. It was like living with a poltergeist with a victim complex. She was clearly trying to wear me down. She thought I'd crack, apologize, and buy her the necklace to make it all go away. She miscalculated. I came home from work on Wednesday. I walked in, and my apartment was full. Maya was on the couch, crying. Alana was next to her, rubbing her back, and Alana's dopey boyfriend, Ben, was sitting in my armchair looking uncomfortable. An intervention. How delightful. Leo, Alana said, standing up. Her voice was pure condescension. We need to talk. This has gone way too far. Get out of my apartment, I said, dropping my keys in the bowl by the door. Whoa, man, Ben said, holding up his hands. We're just here to mediate. Maya is really hurting. This isn't cool. This isn't a mediation, Ben. This is trespassing. Maya was told to leave. You're all trespassing. Leave. See, Maya wailed, pointing at me. See how he is. He's cold. He's heartless. He won't even talk. She made one stupid post, Leo. Alana snapped. One, we all do it, and you're gonna blow up 4 years of your life? You're throwing her out on the street, taking away her home, all for one post? First, I said, it wasn't one post. It was the truth. She doesn't respect me. She thinks I'm boring. She's ungrateful. Second, she's not being thrown on the street. She's a 29-year-old woman with a job. She can call a broker like every other adult. Dude, Ben said, trying to be the reasonable man. Just apologize. You both messed up. Let's be real, you embarrassed her by going to the resort and posting it. That was a low blow. I actually laughed, a harsh, loud laugh that startled them. I embarrassed her? After she publicly called me a boring placeholder? Unbelievable. All 3 of you need to leave. Right now. I'm not asking again. Get out or I'm calling building security and having you removed. Their faces changed. The concerned friend masks dropped. You're a real piece of work, Leo, Alana sneered. She's right, you are a controlling a-hole. Cool, get out. They stormed out, dragging a sobbing Maya with them. The apartment was quiet again, for about 2 hours. Then Maya came back, used her key, and locked herself in the guest room without a word. This needed to end. I spent Friday morning on the phone, first with a lawyer, just to confirm my rights. 30-day written notice was the formal way. He suggested cash for keys might be faster. Offer her $1,000 to be out by Monday, with her key, and to sign a release, he said. I was considering it. Then I checked my credit card statement. I have one card where she's an authorized user. It was supposed to be for groceries and emergencies. I scrolled through the pending charges. Thursday, 3:14 p.m., $250. My blood turned to ice. She hadn't. She'd taken the card, gone to the exact same jeweler, and bought the necklace herself. She was in the apartment, probably in the guest room, with my credit card and with that necklace. This wasn't just entitlement, this was theft. I immediately called the credit card company. Hi, I need to report a stolen card and a fraudulent charge. Stolen, sir, or just an authorized user? An authorized user who just made a $3,250 purchase I explicitly forbade after I broke up with her. She's no longer authorized for anything. Please cancel her card immediately and dispute that charge. They did. Her card was deactivated instantly. The charge was flagged. Next, I called the jeweler. "Hi, my name is Leo. I was in your store on Monday. My ex-girlfriend Maya just purchased a sapphire pendant from you yesterday on a card she was an authorized user on. I have just reported that charge is fraudulent. She was not authorized to make that purchase. She is still in possession of the necklace." The store manager's voice went up an octave. Sir, she told us it was an anniversary gift you had approved. She lied. I am pressing charges for fraud if that item is not returned today. I hung up. I walked to the guest room. I didn't knock. I just opened the door. She was sitting on the bed, on her laptop, wearing the necklace. She smirked when she saw me, a full-on triumphant smirk. "Happy anniversary to me," she said, her voice dripping with venom, "since you were too cheap and too cruel to buy it." "Take it off, Maya." "No," she said, touching it. "I don't think I will. You owe me this. For the humiliation, for the resort, for 4 years of my life, this is the least you can do." "I just got off the phone with Amex," I said, my voice dangerously quiet. "The charge has been reported as fraudulent. Your card is canceled. I also just got off the phone with the store manager. They are very interested in getting their merchandise back. Apparently, they don't like being party to felony theft." Her face went from smug to sheet white in half a second. You wouldn't," she stammered. "You'd ruin my life over a necklace?" "You tried to steal $3,500 from me, Maya." "Yes, I would. So here's the choice. You can either take that necklace off, put your shoes on, and we can drive to the mall right now, where you will personally hand it back to the manager and apologize. Or you can keep it, and I will let the fraud investigation proceed. You'll be explaining it to the police, not me." You're a psychopath," she screamed, tears of pure rage filling her eyes. "Get your coat." The car ride was something. I turned on the voice recorder on my phone and left it in the center console. She sobbed. She begged. She called me every name in the book. "Please, Leo, don't make me do this. It's so embarrassing. You should have thought of that before you stole from me. I hate you. You're a controlling bastard. I'm glad I posted it. You are boring." Duly noted. I stood by the store entrance, arms crossed, while she, red-faced and hiccuping, handed the box back to the manager. I'm so sorry," she mumbled. "It was a huge misunderstanding with the card." The manager looked at her, then at me. I just gave him a grim nod. He took the box. "We'll process the return immediately." The car ride back was dead silent. She just stared out the window, vibrating with hatred. I pulled into the garage. "I want you out by tomorrow," I said, putting the car in park. "End of day. All your stuff. Gone. Or I am filing for a formal eviction notice and I will be giving the police my audio file and the fraud report. Your choice." She just got out of the car and ran. When I got upstairs, she was already throwing her clothes into suitcases. The entitlement bubble hadn't just burst. It had been vaporized. Final update. It's been about a month. The apartment is quiet. It's my apartment again. She moved out. It was a production. Alana and Ben showed up the next day with a U-Haul van. Maya directed them like a drill sergeant, refusing to make eye contact with me. I just sat on my, thankfully solely my, couch and watched, making sure she didn't accidentally pack my TV. They left the guest room a complete disaster. Spilled makeup on the carpet, trash everywhere. Petty. I paid for a deep cleaning service. Money well spent. I heard through the grapevine, a mutual friend who was horrified by her actions, that she moved in with Alana. That lasted, apparently, 12 days. 12 days until Alana couldn't stand living with a grieving Maya who refused to pay for groceries, left messes everywhere, and cried all night. Shocking. But the story doesn't end there. The entitlement had a few aftershocks. First, her mother, Janice, called me. "Leo, dear," she started, her voice all syrupy. "I don't know what on earth happened, but Maya is just heartbroken. She said you threw her out of her home over a silly joke." I was so tired of this. "Janice, with all due respect, your daughter didn't just make a joke. She publicly humiliated me. And then after I broke up with her, she used my credit card to try and steal a $250 necklace. She committed a felony." The other end of the line went silent. "Steal?" Janice finally said, the syrup gone. She said you gave her that card. "For groceries and emergencies, Janice, not for revenge jewelry. I have the fraud report I filed with Amex. I have an audio recording of her admitting it on the way to return it. She is lucky I'm not pressing charges. Please don't call me again. I hung up. The mutual friend later told me that Janice was livid at Maya. Apparently, this wasn't her first time misunderstanding financial boundaries. The next dirty trick was more unsettling. I got a call from my building manager 2 weeks ago. Hey Leo. Weird question. We got an anonymous complaint. Someone reported a strong chemical smell coming from your unit. Alleged it might be drug-related. My stomach just dropped. What? That's insane. I'm at work. I don't even smoke. I know. I'm outside your door. I don't smell a thing. But per building policy, I have to do a 24-hour notice of inspection unless you give me permission to enter now. Please, go in right now, I said, my voice shaking a little. I have nothing to hide. This is my ex. This is her retaliating. He went in. He called me back 5 minutes later. Apartment is spotless, Leo. Not a thing. I'm so sorry. I'll make a note on your file that this was a false, likely malicious report. That one chilled me. It wasn't just petty. It was an attempt to get me in serious trouble with my landlord. The grand finale happened last Saturday, 10 p.m. Loud pounding on my door. I looked through the peephole. 2 police officers. My heart hammered. This is it. The man as aggressor bias. She'd probably told them I hit her. I opened the door, my hands visibly empty. Sir? Are you Leo? Yes, officer. What's going on? We received a call from a Miss Maya. She's downstairs. She stated that you are holding her personal property hostage and are refusing to return it. I almost laughed with relief. That's it? Officer, she moved out 3 weeks ago. She and 2 friends brought a U-Haul. I watched them take everything. I have nothing of hers. The older cop looked skeptical. She was very specific, sir. Said you kept her laptop and a locket that belonged to her grandmother. I've never seen a locket, I said. And her laptop. Wait. I looked over at the TV console. Her old, frayed charging cord was still plugged into the wall, the end just lying on the floor. She'd left it. She left her cord, but she definitely took her laptop. I haven't touched that. She's also saying you've threatened her. The younger cop said, his hand resting near his belt. That you're unstable. That she's afraid of you. There it was. Officers, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm the one who's been harassed. She's the one I had to threaten with police action for credit card fraud. I pulled out my phone. This, I said, is the fraud claim I filed with American Express 3 weeks ago. This is the audio file of her in my car, admitting to the theft and begging me not to call the police. I hit play. Maya's voice filled the hallway. I hate you. You're a psychopath. Please, Leo, don't make me return it. It's so embarrassing. I'll pay you back, I swear. The cop's expressions changed instantly. The older one held up his hand. That's enough, sir. He sighed, rubbing his forehead. This is a civil matter. We can't force you to give her property she claims is here, and she can't force her way in. He spoke into his radio. Tell the complainant this is a civil issue. She needs to contact a lawyer. If she doesn't leave the property, she'll be ticketed for loitering. I watched from my window. I saw them talk to her and Alana, who were sitting in Alana's car across the street. Maya got out and started screaming at the cops. The cop just pointed. They got back in their car and sped off. So that's it. It's over. I feel drained. Not victorious, not happy, just empty and tired. I blocked the unknown number she used to send a final text. You'll be sorry. You'll never find anyone as good as me. I deleted it. The apartment is quiet. My apartment. I looked at my bank account. The $3,250 I saved from the necklace plus the $2,200 I spent on the resort. It's a lot of money, but it's the best $5,450 I've ever spent. It was the price of my freedom. I think I'll book another trip. Maybe somewhere cold. Somewhere she's never even heard of.